I'm Professor Pi. Welcome to my daily mathematical adventures. Hey, don't forget me. I'm Cowboy Rufus. I'm your favorite student. Hi. Today we're going to talk about division. And I always liked division. I like that long division in elementary school because you could mess up and it didn't count. If you said 9 goes into that and it didn't go 9 times, you just get to erase your 9 and then you put an 8. And if it didn't go 8 times, you get to erase the 8 and put a 7. And if you do that 8 or 10 times, you get the problem right. That's why I love long division. You could just change your answer. If you said it goes 5 times, and if it doesn't go 5 times, they let you erase it and you get to try 4 or 6. Eventually, you're bound to get the right number no matter what you do. Today, I'm going to talk about synthetic division of polynomials. It's A2APR.A.1, A2APR.A.4, and A2IF.A.2. There's also reasons and objectives for synthetic division in both geometry and pre-calculus and in Algebra 1. My video will go right here. I've got 3 other videos on how to use synthetic division. If you didn't get it from mine, get it from them. Henry Briggs, the first professor of geometry at Gresham College, is credited with transforming dada into long division in early 1597. We could do long division with polynomials, and this is what it looks like. But it's very complicated, it's very time consuming, and today I'm going to show you what we call short division or synthetic division. Synthetic division works on polynomials being divided by a binomial. And here are the steps. I'm going to leave them here. You write down the coefficients, just the coefficients. You don't have to worry about the x parts. You're going to change the sign of the divisor. If you're dividing by x minus 2, then you change the divisor to plus 2. If you're dividing by x plus 4, you change the divisor to minus 4. We're going to put the divisor out front. We're going to bring down a number, multiply and add, multiply and add. So we're not going to divide and subtract like long division. We're going to multiply and add. Most of you add quicker than you subtract, makes it shorter. I'm going to do several of these, and you're going to find out that it's a very easy process once you follow the steps. The box or divisor is always equal to 0. So x minus 7 becomes plus 7, and 2x minus 3 becomes plus 3 divided by 2. How did I get that? I said 2x minus 3 equal to 0, and I did that pre-algebra to get plus 3/2. That is, we're going to add 3 to both sides, then we're going to divide by 2, both sides. Example 1, we're going to divide x squared plus 3x minus 4. We're going to divide it by x minus 1. Now, I wouldn't normally divide this one. Do you know 2 things that multiply to 4 and add up to 3 or subtract up to 3? So let me say that again. Do you know 2 things that multiply to 4 and subtract to 3? And yes, you do. They are minus 1 and they are plus 4. So you could factor this. So I wouldn't normally do this with synthetic division. I just wanted to start with an easy enough example so you can see the process. I'm dividing by x minus 1, so I put a plus 1 out here. And until we get better at synthetic division, I'm going to show you the plus signs. That way there won't be any confusion as to which one's a minus, which one's plus. What do you do first in the long division? You bring down the first term. right? That's not what you do in long division? That's what we're going to do here. It's easier. Just bring down the first term. That 1 just comes down. Now I multiply. 1 times 1. Yeah, don't use your fingers. We all know it came out 1. Now add. You multiply, add. 3 plus 1 is 4. Now we multiply again. 4 times plus 1 is plus 4. When I add down, I get a 0 remainder. If you get a 0 remainder, we call that the C term. If you get 0 remainder, then you have a C term. We call the second one a depressed polynomial. What we start with? We started with exponents 2, 1, and 0. If you take off one exponent, what do you got left? This is the X term. This is the constant term. So we now know that plus 1 went in evenly. And we also know X plus 4 is also one of our factors. And we knew that before we started because we knew we could factor that. Now we're going to divide that same thing by the plus 4. We know it goes because it just went. But we're going to take the plus 4 and make it over here and make it a minus 4. That's minus 4. We're going to bring down the first term. You bring down, then you multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Multiply, add, multiply, add. Because sometimes we might have a 7th degree polynomial that we're dividing. Bring down the 1. 1 times minus 4, you put the minus 4 under there and you add. Plus 3 minus 4, y'all got that in 7th grade. It's a negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 4 becomes a plus 4. And sure enough, we got a 0 remainder. And this was the X squared, the X, and the constant term. So 1 less than that. This is the X term and the constant term. So we now know the 2 factors of that polynomial are X minus 1 and X plus 4. If it didn't go evenly, then X plus 4 is not a factor. See if I can find one a little bit harder. There we go. Here I've got a 4th degree polynomial. Why is it a 4th degree polynomial? Because 4 is the highest degree exponent I can find. Are my exponents in order? Yeah, they have to be in order. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0, the constant term. We're going to divide that by X minus 1. Put the plus 1 out here because we're going to change the sign because X minus 1 has to equal 0. And that's why we changed the sign. So we're putting the plus 1 in the box. That's our divisor. We're going to bring down 1. 1 times 1, the math's not that hard. Now we're going to add 1 plus 1 is 2 right there. 2 times 1 is plus 2. We got 45 plus 2, negative 45 plus 2 is negative 43. Now we're going to multiply negative 43 times plus 1. That's negative 43 there. When you add this down, it becomes negative 140. And negative 140 times that 1 becomes negative 140. And we got plus 140 and we got minus 140. They're over each other. When you subtract that, you get 0. So this went evenly. If you got 18, 15, or 27 over there, if it didn't come out 0, it didn't come out evenly. And much of what we're going to do in this chapter, we're going to start synthetic division. And the minute we know it's not going to come out 0, you can stop synthetic division and cross off that factor. We're going to have several factors, and we're going to try several factors, and some of them work and some of them don't. All right, this is a 5th degree equation. How do I know? The highest exponent I see is a 5. Are my exponents in order? Yes, they are. I got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the 0 constant term. We're going to divide that by X minus 5. So I put the plus 5 over here because I changed the sign. And then I bring down the coefficients. 1, -5. Where's the -5? -5. I think that line might be wrong, since I left off the -5. That line's probably wrong. So let's start now. Bring down the 1. What do? I bring down the 1. I add -5 and +5 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. And I add that down. -50 and 0. Come on, everybody. You can do that a long time before you got to be juniors. So that's -50. Now, -50 times 5 is, check that, is that minus 250? Now we're going to add down, and what do we get? We get 0. We like zeros and ones on the bottom. That really helps us. There's a 0. What's 0 times 5? Yeah, that's about 0. 49 plus 0 comes down, straight down. You add down, and you get plus 49. Make that plus 49. Now, 49 times 5. Don't expect you to know that one in your head. Let's try and use one of these things. I don't expect you to use one of these things when it's 6 times 7 or 9 times 12. But I never learned the 49 times tables. I think I know how to get it in my head, but let's check with the calculator. I got 49 times 5 is 245 positive. $245 plus 245. Put that up here, and I put it down there for a reason, because we all realize something. It went evenly. We're done. So what do we know about x plus 5? It is a root. Do we have a smaller polynomial? Yeah, we started with 5, so this is x4. There is no x3. This is the x2. There is no x. And here we get 49. So our depressed polynomial at the bottom is x cubed minus 50x plus 49. And that one sounds like it has some eyes in it. All right, we want to find out -5. Let's put the same one back in. And now we want to know if -5 goes in. Let's spread it out. Give me plenty of room. What do we do here? Nothing. We bring down the 1. I bring down the 1. 1 times -5 is -5, which gets me zeros. And I told you, if you get enough ones and zeros on the bottom, it's going to look real good. 0 times -5 is 0. So -50, we add down, -50 plus 0 is still about -50. You had no bonus points for that, because most of you could do that even without your fingers. Now, -50 times 5, you might have to use the calculator, but a lot of times that's going to be a 25 with a 0, and you know that. So that's minus 250. And once again, we get another 0 down here on the bottom, which is a good thing, because I know how to multiply by 0. 0 times -5, not much thought there. It is not -5, it is 0. So I bring down the 49. It's a plus 49. And I multiply plus 49. I multiply plus 49 times -5. 5 times 49 is 245, negative 245. Negative 245. Now you add down, but I'm not going to add down. I'm done. Just write done. Why am I done? I'm looking to see if minus 5 goes in evenly. I want a 0 in the last column. I'm not even going to pick up the calculator and figure out what 245 plus 245 is because I don't need it. I do know it's not 0. Minus 245 and minus 245, I do know how to add them. I'm not going to bother. Sometimes when we're done with synthetic division, we'll stop right about this column here. This column right here, because we realize no matter what's happening here, we're not going to get a 0 at the end. The minute you're sure you don't get a 0, minus 5 is not a factor. Minus 5 does not go into that polynomial. X plus 5 does not go into that polynomial. So minus 5 is not a root of that polynomial. This one up here worked for plus 5. This one for minus 5 didn't work at all. That's why I was done. There's going to be a IXL assignment down here. We'll work the first 3 or 4 on the board and go ahead and get started. Thanks for watching another Professor Pi video. Yeah, y'all come back tomorrow. Cowboy Rufus and Professor Pi will teach you something new.